If you don't bag a zone, do yourself a favor and get one now. It seems that disc golfers don't know what to bag, so instead of roasting the shitty discs you already throw, I thought I would share some discs I think every disc golfer should be bagging. The overstable approach disc is a staple for any player, but if we're being honest, nothing holds up to the zone. Harp fans spend more time on their knees for Trilogy than throwing the disc. The pig is only to point out the people your mom always told you to stay away from. I've never even heard of someone bagging an Aviar X3. The tactic wishes to be the harp, and the yarn is only for losers. And I bag one, so I know. But if you even for a second think about bagging a Zone OS, stop yourself. There is no need to bag that beefcake. You're better off giving your money to a local course's donation box than Discraft. It should be a crime for a company to push out so many shitty discs. Then maybe Discraft and their 94 different plastics can go somewhere else. Just as important as the Workhorse fairway in your bag, and it doesn't get any better than the Firebird. It was the original version, and every other fairway after it tries to be it. Every player, no matter the skill, can trust the Firebird to fly straight, but always dumps out of the end with a consistent finish. Forehand players get harder for this disc than torqued up Tina. That's a disc golf porn star if you're curious about that joke. Don't believe me? Check out her OnlyFans, and tell her Berdogi sent ya. Maybe then she'll answer my DMs. I've never met anyone who didn't like the Firebird, because it's impossible. There's a purpose for every arm, because an overstable disc is as basic as it comes, but still, you can't hate on a classic. Sticking with the Innova theme, if you don't already bag a Wraith, you're missing out. For those players looking for something to flip a bit more than their current stable 12 speed, I suggest picking a Wraith up. A bit slower and more turn allows for smashes, and if it flips too much, time to work on that hyzer flip game. Or for all you really big arms out there, next tailwind drive, you got yourself the right disc for ya. 90% of players bagging a Destroyer could replace it with a Wraith and find way more success. I'm talking 50 feet or more on drives. It's crazy what picking a disc that matches your arm speed can do for a player. If you're the guy sitting there thinking you don't need a Wraith because your arm is so big, I'm sorry to say that you're probably the person I'm talking about. For some reason, the guys with the most Destroyers are the ones compensating for something, and I used to bag 7 of them. Although there are plenty of other Innova discs you should be bagging, the last one I'm going to talk about here is the T-Bird 3. If you're asking yourself what the hell the 3 is, I don't fucking know. But I bag one over a normal T-Bird, so I'm going to say it's better for my sake. I don't think you could go wrong. If you don't already have a stable fairway drive in your bag you can depend on, get yourself a T-Bird 3, and thank me later. After a few throws, you'll be able to trust this disc on any shot, no matter how tight the fairway. My all-time favorite mold is the Clash Discs Honey. And if you haven't had the pleasure of throwing one, what have you been doing with your life? Because you've been missing out. I've had the pleasure of throwing the Honey down the massive ski hills at Toboggan, over the beautiful pond at Maple Hill, through the trees at W.R. Jackson, but unfortunately, my baby was taken from me at New London. Curse you, Macbeth. Nah, I'm just playing. I was just an idiot. I was carving up the narrowest of gaps on the steepest hyzer flip lines. All for me to launch the Honey on a skip-in birdie attempt on the last hole, only for me to forget it in Virginia and never come back. So if anyone in the Lynchburg area found an orange prototype Honey, that's mine, and I would do anything for it back. For those asking, no, I didn't put my name or number on it. Why, you ask? Call me crazy, but I think the relationship between my disc and me more as a partnership. There's a reason Toy Story is my least favorite Pixar movie. Just never sat right with me. But you should for sure get a Honey if you throw less than 350 feet. It would fill the role for your next max distance disc perfectly, especially for those struggling to find the disc to have natural turn. This is the next Frisbee I would suggest to someone if they felt the Wraith was still too stable for them to bomb. I'm a Honey fanboy, I won't lie, but I've yet to hear a negative response from anyone that I recommended it to. If you're wondering between the normal Honey or the double plastic, I would say go for the normal one before getting too crazy. Still a good disc, but you definitely have to fall in love with it before handling the awkwardness of the plastic mashup. As much as I shit on Discraft, they do have the best feeling mid-range in the game. The Buzz. SS. You didn't actually think I was going to say the Buzz, did you? I would rather throw the Innova Lion than that piece of trash. Come on, I thought you would have more respect for me than that. The Buzz SS is one of the best discs for a disc golfer trying to get better. A neutral flying mid-range that will allow beginners to work on angles, because no matter what you put this disc on, you can count it holding. Throw it straight, it will fly right to the target on a rope. Put some hyzer on it, and it will hold softly, nestling up to the spot you wanted. Throw it Annie, watching it float to the right, slowly panning, only to land flat. Whatever shot you want to throw, the Buzz SS has got you covered. I hated the feeling of mid-ranges before I discovered the wonders of the Buzz SS. I never even bagged a mid before it. Yeah, I was that weird guy. There was a time period I threw the Cax from Casaplast. Sorry, I don't know how to properly pronounce that disc. The Cax is a 6-speed mid-range driver. It felt like a fairway, but wouldn't go as far as one, allowing for consistent 350-foot shots that I could put power into, relying it wouldn't go too far of the basket. If you're someone who can't get used to the feeling of mids and want a solution, try out the CAX or grow up like the rest of us. 10 speeds get overlooked way too commonly. Disc golfers go straight from throwing fairway drivers badly to fast distance drivers shitty. They always forget about the awkward phase of sort of getting better. If you want to break that trend, check out the Infinite Discs Aztec. It's a good starting distance driver with a touch of turn for those starting to get some power into their drive. It has a consistent finish that allows even intermediate players to succeed when they figure it out. I lied earlier. I'm going to leave you guys off with one more Innova disc because most disc golfers don't want to admit that they need it, but once they accept the fact that the Mamba will be helpful to their game, they'll be so much better off. If getting a disc to hold turn for the entire flight is a problem, check out the -5 turn Mamba, and that should solve your problem. If not, go buy yourself a Rollo, or get some Icy Hot and break out that non-existent forehand of yours. Even the slowest arm should be able to get some use out of this disc. I'm telling you, even your grandma should be able to get a roller from this bitch. I don't think I've ever seen something turn over as quickly as a Mamba. I don't have any personal stories throwing the Mamba, but I once got my ex-girlfriend one for Christmas. Apparently that's not what she meant by wanting more turn on in her life, which is weird because I tried to explain to her that the Mamba is the most understable Innova driver and she would have no problem getting it to turn. But what do I know? But I do have a brand new Mamba if anyone's interested. If you're going to cop any of the discs I suggested, drop a sub. And if I made you laugh, make sure to like the video so I know to make more of these for all of you. Oh, and if you want to know what disc not to bag at all costs, check out the video right here.